Welcome to our S&OP Ask the Expert series.
Doug, today's question is, will S&OP help me improve my sales forecasting?
Wow, this is a pretty loaded question. The answer to this is yes, but let me tell you, it does take some work. In order to answer that question though as a yes, I really want to answer how it can help you improve your forecast. But let me give you a bit of context in everything I'm going to discuss in the rest of this video. If you follow along with any of our other videos, you know I'm a strong proponent of a standard S&OP format to support your process. That's the 5-section sheet. A quick primer on this: the 5 sections, bookings, shipments, backlog, production, and inventory, all come together to tell a story for the family. S&OP families are determined by constraint. And further to that, we segment your external demand, or the market view, by demand streams. If you use this approach and this format for S&OP, then the process will actually help drive improvements to your demand forecast. So now let me go into the how this works. Well, really there's 4 reasons and 4 instances or ways that this will help you. The first is by separating the bookings and shipments. The second is by segmenting the demand into those different demand streams. The third is forcing you to document your assumptions. And the fourth one is the measuring of your performance. So let me go into those 4 in some detail. So the first one, separating bookings and shipments. You need to forecast or plan the demand for both bookings, which is your order inflow, and for shipments, which is your order outflow. You can only hold sales accountable for one of these 2 metrics, and that's bookings. Shipments are an output of the plan. Basically, if you can't build it, you can't ship it. Shipments are a function of bookings and backlog, which is your open orders, and production. And the difference between the bookings and shipments is your backlog. If you book more than you ship, you will increase your backlog and potentially increase your lead time. If you ship more than you book, you will be reducing your backlog, which may decrease your lead time, or it may create a challenge for supply because now you don't have enough backlog to produce. Understanding the relationship and forecasting both and holding the sales accountable for the right forecast is the first step to improving your forecasting. Second thing, segmenting demand by demand streams. So families are by constraint, but then we split this further into demand streams. And these demand streams support assigning accountability for each of the different demand streams and to use the right forecasting methodology for demand. For example, if you have demand that is regular and consistent, you may use a statistical forecast. But if you have project demand for one of your demand streams that are driven by events, you'll want to actually manage that using a different methodology. The third piece of that is documenting your assumptions. Forecasts are predictions. Predictions are made out of a set of assumptions. We need to be able to document our key assumptions. If the forecast is wrong, we may have the wrong assumptions. And so we want to be able to revisit those assumptions month by month, just to make sure that we're tracking and improving our forecast. Which brings me to really number 4, which is measuring your performance. S&OP is a monthly process. Every month you capture your actuals and you can use these to measure your performance. You compare your actuals to your last month's plan. If you're in tolerance, so establish a tolerance level. If you're in tolerance, then you don't need to worry about what do we have to do in terms of improving our plan. But if you're out of tolerance, you should be driving to a root cause. That root cause should be circled back into the process and be driving continuous improvement. So hopefully by going through this, you can see how the process, and specifically by using the 5-section sheet and this standard approach that we do, you can use S&OP to drive improvements to your forecasts. S&OP is a learning process, so you should use it to learn how to improve your forecast. Hopefully this has helped. Hope you've enjoyed this. We'll see you on our next video. Thanks for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel for more on implementing S&OP. You can learn more about how DBM can take your process to the next level by visiting our website, www.dbmsys.com. Thank you and take care.